What up, everybody? Sport Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece Chapter 40. And this chapter right here, man, so obviously the battle with Kuro has concluded, and Luffy, for the most part, is in total Luffy D-Monkey mode, right? You know, he tells everybody when they ask him, who are you? I'm Luffy. You're gonna remember this name. I'm gonna be the king of the pirates. Take your garbage with you. And he tosses Kuro. So nothing fancy on that. I thought that was interesting. That right after they laughed at him, he threw Kuro at him. That was kind of nice right there. That's very in character. I'm not sure because Luffy is so hard to read sometimes. Like I can't tell if he's just trolling or if that really got under his skin. But what I really enjoyed was the fact that we have this one scene where it shows that Luffy is not invincible. And it's something that Nami herself points out. Because of all the injuries, he ends up fainting. And she says it herself. She says, after Luffy tells her that, you know, he hated them and that they're no good, he says, well, they're pirates. What do you expect? And Luffy says, a steak would be nice. I mean, very, very in character. That's very important when you're writing to make sure the characters stay in character. If you have them do something out of character, it has to have a point. It has to drive the story forward, and it has to engage the readers. So this is really nice to see this. But the other thing that I have to say about this is the ending was a little anticlimactic. You know, like when you see Zoro putting his swords up and he really didn't do much, you know, it's just like you expected. And obviously, I mean, he was injured from the Meowbin brothers, so you kind of have to, you know, give a pass there. And the parallels were nice when you see the first mate and the captain both fall in battle, and it's to Luffy and Usopp. You know, one of you guys pointed that out. I didn't touch on that in the last review. I want to keep that one out, but I mean, just the parallels in that. I mean, that's nice, but once again, the big thing about this chapter isn't the action; it's the character development. And I see little small things in here that really interest me. And it's gonna again go back to the parallels I keep drawing between Usopp and Kaya, because I really feel like this little mini arc right here is all about, you know, Usopp and Kaya. And I mean, it's just really nice when you look at just how everything is arranged. Oh shoot, sorry. How everything is arranged. This whole panel has them in it. And then right here on the bottom, you have both of them side by side, and it's at a critical point, because right here Kaya is shocked because if you'll recall, like, she wanted to bring Usopp in the house, and it's because he's got such a horrible reputation. Now he's just done something honorable and it can change his reputation. But if you'll look, Usopp is resigned to it. He's smiling and he says, nobody would believe the town liars saved the day. Is history. There's no need to worry the townspeople. And I thought that was really interesting, that right there you have them side by side, where you see those two side by side, and then that's being spoken. And just Usopp's overall growth. It shows the maturity beyond his years. Even if he's like 18 or 19, I haven't seen his official age yet. I'm assuming Zoro's 18, that he's definitely in that age range. It's maturity beyond your years. Because he's absolutely right. People live bound by their own beliefs and what's right and what's wrong. You know, that's why a lot of wars get started, because there's a difference in beliefs. And in this case, he knows that if he were to tell everybody what really happened, everybody would be on edge. Sometimes it's better to let people live bound by their own ignorance, because they can stay safe in their bliss. You don't want to shatter what they hold on to as reality. And you see it in the back end of this chapter, where all the townspeople are like, oh, Usopp hasn't come yet. Where's that liar? And then the parents are coming. Those parents would have freaked out if they would have known that their little what, 9-year-old kids were trying to help the grown-ups, you know, defend the village from pirates. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. Like one parent's like, you're filthy. The other one's like, where's my pen? The other one's saying you broke your glasses again. I mean, that would definitely change things. It would definitely change things, and it would just go from house to house to house. It would cause panic, and there's no need to panic at this point. So very, very mature on his end. But I mean, once again, if you just look, you have Usopp and Kaya. The whole page is dedicated to their interaction. And it feels like this is about to go, but like, as far as like the chapter and development, it feels like it's about to go towards the end and kind of wrap up this little mini arc. But all throughout this chapter, if you go back and you reread it, there's a lot of panels where these two are right next to each other. They're drawn in similar fashions. In this case, where Kaya is agreeing to go along with Usopp's plan. He says, Kaya, will you? Right there. And when you just look and you compare how they've been drawn in the past, Kaya's smiling, but that's a different kind of smile. You can tell from the way the eyes are drawn and just the way she's looking. That's a look of admiration. That's a look of something deeper. And with Usopp, you can see the seriousness in it. So I mean, it's really, really interesting how that's done. And you know, just like my last example on how these two have been drawn, if you pay attention to the page where everybody's saying like, oh well, Usopp, you know, you're really who made us protect the village. And Nami's like, yeah, and I got treasure. Like, nobody really cares about the village. If you look, the first time we see them on a new page, you have Usopp far away. First time we see Kaya on this page is she's being spoken to, but it's a far away shot. And then when we first see her, she's not directly in the shot. What I mean by directly, she's not facing, and it's not a close-up shot like what you see there. This is a far-away shot. So once again, the panels, nothing's done by mistake. I'm very interested to see if Kaya gets reintroduced, but the chapter ends off and it leaves me with some questions. I think this is the point where Usopp joins Luffy's pirate crew, because Usopp says Roger's gold is calling me. And we know that's what Luffy's after. And Usopp has disbanded his crew. And if he was going to go into the seas, he would need his own crew. And just how Usopp, Usopp's father, joined Shanks, I think Usopp's about to join Luffy's crew. And he will be following in his father's predecessor. So it's really interesting, just the parallels that are coming. And I thought that this was really cool when, you know, Usopp disbands the crew, because one of the things that goes on is he says, I want you guys to follow your dreams. And you can tell the impact he's had on these kids' lives, because we get these series of flashbacks, chasing the dog, chasing the dragon, which was really like a chameleon or something, you know, playing the different games. I mean, you can tell the impact he's had on them, and you can tell that he's probably help raise his kids. And the parallels between him and Luffy are nice too, because the same way that he had that impact on those kids is the same way that Luffy had that impact on Kobe. And the last time that we saw Luffy and Kobe, Luffy's telling Kobe to follow his dreams. Same thing Usopp's been doing. That's why I said, like, I would be very interested to see these two interact on the same crew, because both of them have some of the same leadership qualities. So I mean, very, very interesting, man. So my chapter question for you guys would be this: what did you think about Usopp telling those kids to follow their dreams and disbanding? Why do you think he didn't take them along on the pirate, you know, with him as being a pirate? And I know that it's not been confirmed yet that he's in Luffy's crew, but I think he is. I think it's pretty obvious that's where he's going with it. And if that's the case, again, more symbolism behind him and Shanks and Luffy, because Shanks would not let Luffy come with him because Luffy was around that same age. So really nice. I believe he was the same age because Luffy's 19, I believe. And 10 years had passed before he actually went out on sea. So really, really interesting, man. But that's it for this chapter review. If you liked anything I had to say, make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Greatly appreciate it.